I'm Sharon Calvert, and this is Eye on Tampa Bay. I'm here with Lou Green today, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's just happened here in Hillsborough County with our Transportation Policy Leadership Group.
Tell me about that, because every time I see you, Sharon, there's always something new popping out of the woodwork here.
Well, that's true. It's a very dynamic issue right now, and actually, I think it took a startling leap forward this week at the latest meeting of the Hillsborough County Policy Leadership Group, and that was Tuesday. And that's where they informed the members, which includes, again, our county commissioners and the three mayors of Temple Terrace, Tampa, and Plant City, that we're going to hand out almost $900,000, which equates to about 14% of our entire road budget for fiscal year 2015, to Parsons Brinckerhoff, which is a large global engineering firm, to move forward and do some technical analysis, but also do the public outreach on, and basically come back and have written our Hillsborough County Transportation Plan.
So for $900,000, what do the taxpayers actually get out of this?
Well, that's
not
to be
as much as
seen.
Parsons Brinckerhoff.
Well, that's true, because there does tend to be a circle of money, and in fact, and they're a little bit behind on the timeline here because we're actually towards the end of October. Mm-hmm. But we see that when there's public engagement here,
we'll blow this up and put it on the screen.
That Parsons Brinckerhoff is going to be doing, they're going to come back with a plan by April of next year. And then guess what happens then? Well, the rumor is that there could be some type of referendum. I mean, we don't know. That's not a sealed deal yet. But if there is, because this kind of says that something's going to happen, because why would you need a private sector advocacy? So that's sort of what happens is Parsons can write the plan, come up with what it is, and then they get to contribute, just like they did with Greenlight Pinellas and over with the Greenlight Pinellas issue in Pinellas County. They can contribute tens of thousands of dollars towards the cause that they created.
So they're getting the money. They take some of that money, then contribute it back.
Sort of like what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, $900,000 is a lot of money. And personally, they had talked about public outreach. And I think at one time they were talking about something about along the lines of $200,000 to $500,000. Of course, there is some technical analysis that's being done here, which is more the engineering side of the work that Parsons is doing. But it's almost $1 million. And what's really interesting too is that we keep being told we don't have a dime to spare in our budget. However, magically, $500,000 was plugged into the fiscal year 2015 budget for transportation planning. So that $500,000 is going to be handed off.
So is this
to
money?
Parsons.
They're already spending the money on the come that they are going to get before.
It could be, but the other piece of that is that there's only $500,000 in the budget. There's another $400,000 that the county or somebody has to come up with, if the municipalities are going to contribute, or whether, I don't think Hart really has that kind of money to contribute, the transit agency. But I think they're going to go knock on the door of the MPO, because interestingly and conveniently last week, our MPO got handed a $600,000 grant from FDOT, and I believe that they normally get this kind of money, or at least some of this kind of money, to do their long-range transportation plan. And that's a federally mandated document that has to be updated, and I believe this has to be done, I think, before the end of November. So that piece of work has to be done, but they now have this $600,000 bucket of money the MPO just was given, but I think the county is going to come and be knocking on the door and saying, hey, can you give me $400K of that?
Oh, good. So they giveth and they taketh away, and it's nice.
Well, we do have to watch this, and we know that there's issues, but, Parsons Brinckerhoff, they were responsible for the big dig, so we know that they have a history of huge cost overruns, as well as in Charlotte. By the way, they wrote Charlotte's plan, too, back in the late 1990s, that appeared to, it kind of set the foundation for their rail referendum. And in fact, there was so much cost overrun in Charlotte that citizens put something on the ballot. They tried to repeal it.
Yeah.
And Parsons went in and gave $30K to the side to, hey, we got to keep this, you know.
Yeah. Well,
so this isn't the first time that this has happened. I call it the mercenary force that comes in.
well, when you're dealing with public money, you got to be very careful because the cost overrun factor is always going to be there, and it's amazing when they get a project about 60 or 70% built and they've already spent all the money. The option there is to say, are we going to leave this big hole here? Are we going to leave this stuff here half done? Or are we going to finish it? Now the pressure's on to finish it, and they get the job. And so now the $1 billion project becomes a $2 billion project. Thank you very much.
And large infrastructure projects are known for that. And rail projects, on average, the cost overruns about 40%, and sometimes double. I think in Charlotte it was about double. I mean, Denver had huge cost overruns as well. But the other interesting thing that came up at the policy leadership group meeting also was the county administrator is already out making presentations kind of on a preliminary basis of this plan, kind of the something for everyone plan is coming. So everybody's going to love it because they have something in it for you. But he's already made about 15 presentations already. And from the Tribune perspective, they reported, well, that plan's going to include everything, roads, bridges, buses, trains, you name it, something for everybody. But then the Tampa Bay Times picked up a different story from the same meeting, which also was said about any type of referendum, that a referendum may not even include any specifics on what some fixed guideway may be. So it could be different types of rail, or it could be a fixed guideway, BRT. But all those different modes, and they are different. The cost structures are very different. Some are much more expensive. And the purpose that they're implemented for are different. So, and I cannot imagine going into a ballot initiative not putting specifically what that money is going to be used for. And in fact, I think they have to, because financial information now financial impact information has to be included in the language of a referendum in the county. So if you're going to put cost information in there, I mean, it just kind of leads you to say that you have to have what that tax would be paying for.
Well, they also write those things so that nobody can understand them anyway.
Well, we'll help with that if that happens. But I think the point that needs to be to bear in mind is we certainly don't want the situation of you have to pass the referendum and then find out what's in it.
Yeah, and you can read the report on Eye on Tampa Bay, and this chart is posted on this report and also on Eye on Tampa Bay.
Well, I'm Sharon Calvert. That's Eye on Tampa Bay. I'm here with Lou Green, and stay tuned because there'll be more to come on this issue.
It's always exciting when Sharon's in the house.